Hi there, welcome to the Gardens and Graveyard channel. My name is Charisma and today we're meeting in the garden and we're going to take a look and see what kind of winter interest I have and where I have winter interest missing. Now I do live in a zone 9A on the Oregon coast, so it is very green everywhere. So I'm not going to really be pointing out greenery or like evergreens or broadleaf evergreens, because that is a given in my garden, and obviously if that's something that you need to add into your garden, I highly suggest it. It gives the garden a ton of structure, but I'm really focused on what kind of like bark color or berries or bone structure I can add into the garden for this time of year. Okay, so what I'm seeing over here is I have an elderberry that has really kind of a wild structure, but it doesn't give a lot of substantial structure that I'm looking for. I'll show you a good example of that in a second. We have our Dusty Miller. We had some cold nights and they held somewhat, and then some of it didn't hold. So it's kind of a 50-50 on this plant in my garden for winter time. The Iberis or Candy Tuft is blooming, which is a fun thing. I do get a periodic rose throughout the winter, but they're not reliable. This Edgeworthia, this is a beautiful winter specimen. The structure on this shrub is absolutely gorgeous. And then it has all of these white buds covering the whole thing. So this is something that gives me tons of structure this time of year. I have some more Iberis here. And then I'm looking across the way at the structure of these shrubs. This is Acaria japonica, and it has some nice, strong, really bright green branches. And then right next to it, I have a barberry, which has these dark red stems, and it has red berries, but they're kind of small to see. There we go. Red berries on them. So that's a fun winter structure. And then the Rose of Sharon is kind of a white color, a beigey white color. So it has a really nice branching structure. So right here I've got the white, the red, and the chartreuse, and around it in between I have Rose campium, which has sort of a blue color. This time of year they don't look so hot. All right, I'm gonna go on down here. Now this is the Staghorn sumac, and it has gorgeous winter structure. I mean, it is just stellar. It's so hard to capture on video, but it is a really beautiful, strong presence in the winter garden. And then it has all of these horns, whatever, they're blossoms on there. And then it also has this really beautiful fuzzy texture, which gives another level of fun element in the garden. I do have some heathers starting to bloom. This one's just got some buds on it. The white one is in bloom. Looking back up, oh, I've got the cherry tree. The weeping cherry tree has some really nice winter structure, and it's full of buds. I can't wait. It's gonna just be another couple of months and it'll break open and be full of blooms. We have another weeping tree right there that's really little, so that'll be fun. So what I'm kind of doing is giving an overall picture. So I've got a really bright yellow right here in this euonymus, but I'm missing red and blue. I've got lots of green going on. I'm missing red and blue in that rose garden area. Over here, I have a touch of red with the barberry right there. And a touch of blue with the rose campion, but just not quite as strong of a statement as I would like to see. I would like to point out we have all the irises are popping up everywhere. Spring's on the way. I also noticed it. I'm gonna go backwards for a second. I noticed we've got daffodils coming up right here, and we've got roses in bloom right there. Fun, fun. All right, well, in the rose garden, I forgot right back there, I do have a Chinese fringe flower, which is a red one, and once it gets big, it will fill in that red element. So maybe just adding like the Dusty Miller or maybe a low growing juniper or something like that would be helpful. Okay, over this direction, in this kind of framing, we have the eucalyptus, which is a blue element. We have the lemon cypress, which is a yellow element. Plenty of green, but we could use a little more red. We do have the chocolate ajuga, which kind of falls into the red category, but I could use something a little bit taller that pops red. I'll keep cruising on down here. I'd like to point out that I've got all of these verbenas blooming, and it is the middle of December. Just gonna go around the garden and see. As you can see, lots of dark green. We could definitely do with more blues and reds. The St. John's wort, of course, I keep pointing out these berries, but I so do appreciate them this time of year. And we've got a little bit of winter structure here. So this is a Berry Poppins winter berry, and it would have berries all over it if I had its male counterpart. So I'm on the lookout for a Mr. Poppins so that we can have berries on this next year. The dogwood has a really beautiful, delicate kind of structure. And then this guy does create a little bit of a red element in the winter garden. Keep going up here. I do have a red twig dogwood here. But I should have cut back all of my crocosmias so you could see her a little better. We have another one right here. You can see this one much better. And I had a red one right here, but it's not looking so good. And neither is that red one. So I might have to do something about that. Up here is the winter berries at the top of the ridge that we just planted. not very long ago. So if I can get it in the frame. That's one there, and then that's one there, and you could see a lot more of the berries on this one for sure. And then I do have a red twig right here, a red twig right there, and a red twig up there. There's like 5 of them around here. Oh, I can see there's another one there and another one there. So long as I keep the Gaultheria kind of trimmed down, you can see them. As you know, this whole area by the creek is slowly getting reclaimed by us so that we do have a lot more structure and a lot more uniformity and a lot more interest happening up there rather than just a jungle of Gaultheria. But it's always nice to just kind of see what is there right now and what could improve in all the seasons. So this is the area that we really focused on last summer. We cleared out all of this area. We cleared out all down here. And I do have red or yellow twig dogwoods down here. I have a pussy willow down there. I just see the one yellow twig. There is a little one way down there, but I'm not really seeing the color on it that well. The creek is flowing nice though, which is fun. Okay, we're gonna just keep cruising along and see what other kind of really good winter structure. Hydrangeas can sometimes have beautiful winter structure in other gardens. This is what happens in mine. It just turns to mush. This is, you know, she's on her way out, but they just get all moldy in my garden because it's so wet. All right, then looking back over here again, I just need a lot more of that ice blue and the reds. So that's going to be a focus for next year. The golden rain tree here that it's got a lot of presence, but the structure is kind of wonky in my opinion. Okay, and then you can kind of see this white haze of the Weigela. The birch that's over it, from this angle, doesn't look as fantastic, but I'll show you another angle and you can see how important that white structure can be in the garden. I have to say it smells very strongly of trash back there. We've never kept trash back there. I'm hoping my new neighbors aren't keeping trash at that level. I think it's most likely a bear. So we're just gonna cruise along and not bother the bear, hopefully. All right, so the butterfly bush does have some nice, good, strong and straight stems that give some substance to the winter garden. And the maple tree has a really pretty structure in the garden. And then the birch tree back there with its white branches stands out against that dark green backdrop really well. It's just that birch tree is a terrible specimen and I would love to replace it with something different, but I will very much miss that white bark in the wintertime. Unless I can replace it with something that grows really fast and has white bark that will grow in that same spot after I take it out. In the back garden, I'm not as concerned with the adding the blue or the red. At least not right now. So as you can see, there's always room for improvement, and I like taking walks around the garden and looking for specific pockets that need some attention, because it helps me focus on what kind of plans I'm going to make for the new year. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you're celebrating your life, and I will see you in the next video.